I was my sharp-tongued boss's walking suppressant. He absolutely despised omegas, and as a beta I was his secretary by day and his bed partner at night. But under the influence of his dominant alpha pheromones, I went through a secondary differentiation, into an omega, and I got pregnant. Knowing how ruthless he could be, I ran. But he climbed over my balcony, gripped the back of my neck, and said coldly, "Tell me, where do you think you're going with that belly?" 1. I thought it was just a normal cold, but the doctor pinned me down for a blood test. Then he told me straight, I was pregnant. I stared at the report in shock. The HCG level had already shot past 100,000. I froze. But I'm a beta. A defective beta at that, born with an underdeveloped reproductive system. The doctor slapped the report onto the desk. "You've been running a fever for a whole week. Did it ever occur to you that you might be undergoing secondary differentiation?" Secondary differentiation. The doctor said I was about to turn into an omega. "I can smell the strong alpha pheromones on you. You have an alpha boyfriend, don't you?" Boyfriend wasn't really the right word. But yes, I did have a fixed arrangement. What about him? If a beta is repeatedly marked by a high-ranking alpha, there's a chance they'll redifferentiate into an omega. The doctor's eyes narrowed. "You too, do it pretty often, don't you?" My face turned red. Every time, Cody practically left me stuffed like a dumpling. And now that I'd become an omega, who could I even complain to? He loathed omegas with a passion. I let out a long sigh. It looked like our 3-year relationship had finally reached its end. The doctor handed me a box of painkillers and some suppressant patches. He urged me to tell my alpha about the pregnancy. Both the pregnant partner and the child needed pheromone soothing from the father. But me, how was I supposed to tell him? Cody and I had known each other since high school. After graduation, I joined his company. During my first company banquet as an intern, I stumbled upon him in his sensitivity period, when a heat-driven omega clung to him. As an employee, I tried to help him out of the situation, but he lost control and grabbed me, kissing me hard. The next morning, I woke up sore all over. He gave me a cold look and promoted me, out of nowhere, to his personal secretary. By day, I blocked omegas from approaching him. By night, I served as his outlet. Aside from my salary, he gave me an extra 100,000 yuan each month as a bonus. And I really needed the money. A father addicted to gambling, a mother sick in bed, a younger sister still in school, and a broken version of myself. I slowly placed my hand on my stomach. I knew the most logical choice was to get rid of the baby, hide my omega identity, and continue this arrangement with Cody. But the doctor warned me this child might be my only chance at having one. 2. The moment I left the hospital, Cody called. "Archie, where are you? Why didn't you come to work?" I asked for leave. Before I could finish, he cut me off sharply, his tone cold. "I don't care where you are. Get to my office. Now!" I shoved the medicine into my bag, grabbed a cab, and rushed straight to the company. The second I pushed open his office door, Cody yanked me inside and kissed me hard. With one hand behind me, I locked the office door. My breathing hitched. The entire room was thick with his alpha pheromones, so dense it felt like fog. It was the first time I had ever smelled them this strongly, and my knees immediately went weak. The faint ache in the back of my neck flared into a burning heat, and along with the sharp pine scent of his pheromones, a thread of lily-of-the-valley sweetness drifted up. It was coming from me. The doctor had said I was about to differentiate into an omega. Panic rushed through me. I covered the back of my neck, terrified Cody would catch the scent and throw me out on the spot. He loathed omegas, so much it was practically instinctive. Cody pressed me down against his desk, leaned in, and sniffed my neck. His hot breath spilled over my skin, and the gland under my skin throbbed violently. I tried to pull back. "Archie, you smell so good today." "Do I?" Cody grabbed my wrists, pinned them up, and sank his teeth into my neck. In an instant, he broke skin, flooding me with his pheromones. A strange pleasure surged through me, making me tilt my head back as sounds I didn't even recognize as my own slipped out. When it was over, Cody collapsed into a deep sleep. I opened the window to let the air out, gathered up the soiled sheets, and quietly unlocked the door. The chief secretary was standing right outside. He froze when he saw me, then noticed the fresh marks on my neck and quickly shut his mouth. My lips stung from being bitten. I told him flatly, "He's sleeping in the lounge. You can wake him in an hour. I've already taken leave today, so I'll head home." The secretary hurriedly nodded with a smile. "Of course, you should go rest." 3. Dragging my exhausted body home, I tossed the sheets into the washing machine and collapsed into bed. When I woke up in a haze, my phone was buzzing non-stop. The sky outside was already pitch black. I squinted at the screen. It was Cody calling. A glance at the time, it was past 10 at night. Well, that's the life of an overworked nobody. Resigned, I picked up the phone. Archie, do you have any idea how many times I've called you? Where the hell have you been? I had a bit of a fever. Sorry I missed your calls, truly, I'm sorry, I rasped. A fever? Was it because this afternoon He suddenly cut himself off, then his voice went stiff. I think I smelled Omega scent on you today. My heart jumped into my throat. By all logic, a high-ranking alpha in his sensitivity phase shouldn't remember anything clearly. I never imagined Cody would actually recall it. A chill ran through me. I wasn't ready to face our relationship breaking apart, when suddenly his cold voice came through. Archie, you belong to me now. You'd better not mess around. I don't share. If I ever find out you've been with another Omega or Alpha, I'll kill them. Relief washed over me, and I hurried to explain, nothing like that happened. The scent must have rubbed off on me at the hospital. I didn't notice. I'm sorry, I'll be careful next time. Cody didn't reply. All I could hear was his breathing on the other end. Can you come in tomorrow? How's your body holding up? I slept a bit, I'm fine now. I'll definitely be there on time tomorrow. The moment I finished, Cody hung up. I tossed the phone onto the bed, breaking out into a cold sweat. High-ranking alphas weren't the kind of people families like mine could afford to cross. I needed to find a way out, fast. My younger sister had already been accepted to college and was earning her tuition by tutoring. My mother's illness was stable, and the doctor said she could be discharged in a week. My father's gambling debts weren't paid off yet, but my mom had filed for divorce. Mom was an Omega. She'd suffered years of domestic abuse, and my sister had exposed it to the media. Public opinion and the court both took it seriously. It was only a matter of time before they separated. Since the debts hadn't gone toward household expenses, the law would hold my father solely responsible. And me, I no longer needed Cody's extra bonus of 100,000 yuan each month just to survive. 4. The next morning, I sprayed on enough blockers to completely cover my pheromone scent. The moment I stepped into the office, Cody frowned. I thought maybe the Omega scent hadn't faded, so I lifted my arm to sniff myself. But there was nothing, only the faint bitter tang of suppressant. Didn't they say betas pick up scents easily? We went at it so hard yesterday the bed frame broke, and now you don't smell like anything at all. Archie, did you deliberately wash my scent off? No. Then what's going on? Why don't you carry my scent? Looking at Cody's angry expression, I couldn't help grumbling inwardly. Seriously, was it supposed to be a good thing to reek of him? Isn't it better if I don't? That way no one will ask questions. You're the one who doesn't like people knowing about us, right? That's not good. Cody muttered, sulking. Alpha logic during a sensitivity phase was beyond me. I decided not to argue and placed the documents on his desk. Here's your schedule for today. He skimmed it. There's a banquet tonight. You're coming with me. My job was to follow Cody everywhere and block any Omegas who tried to approach. I nodded. All right. That afternoon, Cody tossed me a white suit. I looked at him, puzzled. Tonight, you're my beta. Dress properly. His beta. My heart thumped wildly. I shut the lounge door. The bed had already been fixed. Just as I undressed, I felt a chill at my back. Turning around, I saw Cody leaning against the doorway, his wolfish gaze fixed on me. When he caught me looking, he closed the door and strode toward me. He wrapped his arm around my waist, and his alpha pheromones surged. My knees went weak instantly, and I collapsed against his shoulder, trembling as the cool fabric of his suit brushed against my skin. My beta should be covered in my scent, head to toe. Then he kissed me hard. The heat of it burned through me, setting every nerve on fire. He didn't let go until my alarm went off. I lay there, dazed, unable to recover. Cody, in a rare good mood, helped me bathe and then dressed me carefully in the white suit. He stared at me for a moment, then suddenly said, "I don't want you going with me." I froze. Was it because I hadn't satisfied him enough just now? He gripped my chin and kissed me again. "Archie, you're too good-looking. I don't want anyone else to see you." My face flushed crimson. I didn't dare meet Cody's lust-filled eyes. I was terrified I'd fall for him. Terrified I wouldn't be able to leave. 5. The birthday banquet was packed. Gavin was there, Cody's childhood friend and the real power behind the group. He was a mysterious man. To outsiders, he was a top-tier alpha, but in truth, he was an enigma. I'd only learned this from overhearing one of their conversations. When Gavin saw me arrive with Cody, he clinked his glass lightly. Sensing the situation, I excused myself to the restroom. But behind me, I heard Gavin's voice. "When are you going to give him a proper place in your life? He's just a beta, yet he reeks of your scent. That way no one else will covet what's mine." "Yours? Cody, you're finally admitting you like him." "Gavin, what nonsense are you spouting? When have I ever said I liked him?" Gavin sneered. I quickened my pace, my chest tightening painfully. "Of course, To Cody, I was nothing but a walking suppressant. There was no way he'd ever like me. I should have let go of that hope a long time ago. Leaning over the sink, I splashed cold water on my face and stared at my reflection in the mirror. Being able to carry Cody's child was already the greatest gift heaven had ever given me. I had no right to be greedy. 6. As soon as I stepped out, the sharp scent of cold pine hit me. I hurried forward and saw Cody surrounded by a group of Omegas. 2 of them had already collapsed next to him, faces flushed, clawing at Cody's clothes as waves of Omega pheromones rolled off them. The air was thick with the smell of an aphrodisiac. Cody was already in his vulnerable period, and the scent pushed his pheromones out in wild surges. Holding my breath to avoid being affected, I quickly pulled Cody out of the crowd. After dragging the dazed Cody to safety, I reported the situation to security as we passed them. The moment security left, Cody shoved me against the wall and kissed me, smearing his pheromones all over me. With my hands behind my back, I opened a nearby room door at random. By the time I locked it, Cody had already ripped his clothes to shreds. He blinked up at me, eyes wet and pitiful. Archie, they set me up. I feel terrible. His pheromones made my legs weak. My gland at the back of my neck was throbbing, swollen, and itchy, filling the room with a faint lily-of-the-valley scent. He leaned closer, his hot breath spilling over my neck, eyes crimson as his teeth sank into my gland. Then he trailed kisses down my neck, gripping my waist with a force like he was trying to fuse me into him. Fearing I might hurt myself or the child in my belly, I clung tightly to him. When Cody was finally done, I opened the window to air out the room, then collapsed onto the bed and fell into a deep sleep. 7. When I woke up again, daylight was streaming in. Cody was barefoot, stomping on the shredded remains of his clothes, barking into his phone, "Find out. I want to know who dared to send people to me." I pushed myself up, though I already had a suspect in mind. Cody's stepmother. She had always wanted him to obey his father and marry an Omega from a powerful family. I didn't know why he hated Omegas, only that he'd been at war with his father for years. Disgusting. Those awful Omegas. He snarled. The gland at the back of my neck still throbbed. The lily-of-the-valley scent on my body hadn't faded either. In Cody's eyes, were Omegas truly that unforgivable? But now I was one too. Suddenly Cody glared at me with sharp eyes. "Archie, what's that smell on you?" I said nothing, face pale, trying to hide my swollen neck. "It must be from those crazed Omegas yesterday." "You stink, go shower." I slowly got out of bed, my exposed skin marked everywhere. Looking down, I noticed the bite marks on my wrist. Cody had nearly tasted every inch of me last night. I asked timidly, "Are Omegas really that disgusting? What if I were an Omega?" The moment the words left my mouth, I regretted them. Who was I to think I'd be treated differently by him? I spoke softly, hoping he wouldn't hear. But high-level alphas have sharp hearing. He'd heard every word. His wolf-like eyes fixed on me, the temperature in the room seeming to drop. "Archie, you're a beta, not an Omega. Omegas are disgusting. You'll never become one." I closed my eyes. Unlucky for me, your high-level pheromones triggered my second differentiation. I was now a real Omega. 8. As expected, Cody's stepmother came to see me. That flash of a figure from the other day, it really had been him. All those crazed Omegas had been his doing. He asked to meet at a high-end cafe near the company. The moment I sat down, he slid a check across the table. $5 million. To buy me out of Cody's life. Before I could speak, he pushed a photo over. It showed me buying Omega suppressants at a pharmacy. "That could have been for my mother," I said. "You know she's an Omega." "I don't know," he replied smoothly. The middle-aged male Omega before me was still strikingly beautiful, but his eyes were full of calculation. He smiled coldly. "If Cody finds out, he'll dig into every detail of your life. You won't come out of it as clean as you are now." My face went pale. If Cody investigated, he'd definitely discover my second differentiation, and my pregnancy. Lucky or unlucky, the man before me only knew I was an Omega. He didn't know I was pregnant. I took the check. That afternoon, I skipped work, deposited the money, and submitted my resignation. I blocked and deleted all of Cody's contact info in one go. I even left my last month's salary behind. That same afternoon, I packed my things and left. I caught the high-speed train back to my hometown with my mother, who had just been discharged from the hospital. 9. After my mom came home, my dad knelt on the floor, slapping himself over and over, begging her for forgiveness. My younger sister stood at the doorway, holding a kitchen knife, ready to strike if he came a step closer. I sat in my room, coldly watching him as he turned to me and pleaded, "Archie, talk to your mom, ask her to let me in. We can be a family again. Don't you remember how good I used to be to you?" I clenched my fists and spat out a single word, "Get out." That night, lying in bed, I tossed and turned, unable to sleep. He had been good once, but in my dreams now, there was only the stench of blood. After his gambling losses, he'd beat and scold me, drag my sick mother out of her hospital room, steal every penny of the surgery money I'd saved from my part-time jobs, and finally sell off my alpha sister. The day he sold her, I'd bitten his arm hard. He'd beaten me with a stick, shouting, "You useless beta, you can't even be sold. If only you were an Omega." He'd knocked me unconscious before heading out to gamble again. When I woke up, I ran out of the house like a madman. While sprinting toward the police station, I crashed straight into Cody. Blood from my head smeared across his white shirt. He frowned and grabbed me. "Archie, why are you covered in blood?" Back then, we'd been desk mates for a month, but had barely interacted. All I knew was that his family was powerful enough to save my sister from the traffickers. Like clutching at a lifeline, I seized his hand. "Cody, please, save my sister." I don't remember much after that. My head had been split open, my body covered in welts. I vaguely recall Cody taking me to the hospital. When I woke up again, my sister was sitting by my bed, eating a meal. From that day on, I became Cody's shadow. The scraps he let fall from his fingers were enough to feed my whole family, and I kept my warped gratitude for him buried deep inside my heart. My hand drifted to my belly. "Cody, consider this child my reward for all those years at your side." 10. My parents' divorce case was messy, but I remembered someone from my class who'd gone into law. I'd even met him once with Cody. After some effort, I got his contact information and arranged a meeting. The next day, I took the high-speed train to see him. What I didn't expect was the familiar figure standing beside him. Cody. In that instant, all I wanted to do was run. But the case files in my hand burned like hot coals. My mom had already wasted half her life on that man. And if I showed up at all, Cody would inevitably trace my movements. There was no escaping anymore. I forced myself to stay calm and handed over the evidence of domestic abuse and gambling to the lawyer across from me. My request was simple: grant the divorce, and let the man who gambled shoulder his own debts. After we worked out the legal strategy, I dragged my tired body to the hotel. But just as I swiped my card at the door, someone grabbed my waist and pushed me inside. He pinned me against the door. The room card hadn't been inserted, so only the streetlights outside lit the room. I couldn't see his face clearly, but I heard his voice, low and furious. "Archie, you left me for $5 million? My heart eased a little. So, he hadn't found out. He didn't know I was pregnant. This was Cody, prideful, childish. During the time I'd been gone, he'd probably been seething every day. He'd only come to me because he couldn't swallow his anger. I smiled faintly at him. "You've got it wrong. There's no abandonment between us. We made a deal. I was your companion, and you paid me $100,000 a month." The room fell into a strange silence after my words. Cody's breathing grew heavier. I knew him well. My words had cut him. He was like a proud, immature young lion. After tonight, he wouldn't lower his head again. Sure enough, Cody released me, gritting his teeth. "Archie, you'll regret this." He yanked open the door and stormed out. He probably couldn't believe it. Couldn't believe that the shadow who'd always followed him, the obedient one, had really left him for $5 million. That was why he tried so hard to find me and force an answer. He wanted me to explain, but I refused to give him the answer he wanted. I knew Cody. This time, our connection was truly over. I numbly inserted the room card, stripped off my clothes mechanically, and curled up on the bed like a cocoon. My hands tightened protectively over my stomach. This was the best choice. Cody wouldn't come after me anymore. I'd cut ties with the father, but kept the child. This was the best outcome. 11. After a night's sleep, I took the high-speed train home. I hadn't expected the divorce case to drag on for 6 months. It wasn't until right before New Year's that a court date was finally set. On New Year's Eve, I wore a thick gray wool coat to hide my now obvious belly and sat at the table for our holiday dinner. My younger sister burst in with a sparkler in her hand. "Big brother, there's a luxury car downstairs. Is it your boss, Cody?" "Impossible." I shook my head. There was no way he'd come. My sister pulled me out to the balcony to watch the fireworks. As the sky lit up with explosions of color, my gaze drifted down to the street. Cody was standing beside the car, his eyes locked firmly on me. My chest tightened. I clutched my coat tighter around myself. Then I saw Cody lift several bags from the trunk and head toward our building. In my eyes, that action was as shocking as a comet striking Earth. I turned to go back inside just as my mom opened the door. Cody stood there, smiling with an air of harmless charm. "Auntie, I'm Archie's colleague. I came to wish you a happy new year. I remember you. You're Cody, Archie's high school classmate, right? Come in," my mom said warmly. As she turned to get things ready and Cody sat down, I leaned close to him and whispered, "What are you doing here?" I tugged at my coat again, terrified he'd noticed something, and hissed, "Leave, now." He ignored me, calmly picking up chopsticks to eat. My mom was delighted, filling his glass with wine. "It's snowing outside. You can stay here tonight. There's a spare room. I'll set it up for you." "No, Mom, he's leaving soon," I said quickly. My mom frowned at me. "Cody helped Archie so much, and you're trying to throw him out on New Year's Eve? Heaven will punish you for that." I said nothing. A family like ours couldn't afford heaven's punishment. 12. That night, I thought I wouldn't be able to sleep with Cody here. Why had he come all this way during the new year? What did it mean? After all these years, maybe I was still important to him. Otherwise, he wouldn't have traveled so far to see me during the holiday. Before I could figure it out, my eyelids grew heavy. Late pregnancy left me exhausted. Just as I was drifting off, I felt someone open my bedroom door. Before I could react, he climbed into my bed and wrapped his arm around my waist. In the next instant, he sat bolt upright and turned on the bedside lamp. The sudden light made me squint. Cody's face was cold as he threw back the blanket. His pupils dilated in shock. "Archie, you're pregnant?" Then he caught the scent of an unfamiliar alpha pheromone on me. It was the synthetic alpha pheromone stabilizer the hospital had prescribed, a specially formulated scent used to soothe unpartnered omega pregnancies. His face darkened shade by shade, his eyes going red. "Whose is it? Is it that alpha's?" "Yes," I said quietly. Cody's eyes grew even redder, like he might cry at any second. He punched the bed in frustration, then left my room almost clumsily. The cold pine scent of his pheromones lingered in the air. I lay limp on the bed, listening to the front door slam shut. My mom came out, rubbing her eyes. "What happened? Did Cody leave?" "Yeah," I mumbled under the blanket. "He had family business to take care of." "That's true. It's not right for him to stay over during New Year anyway. But it's so late, and the snow's heavy. I hope he's okay on the road." "He's a high-level alpha, Mom. He'll be fine. Don't worry. Just go back to sleep." "I'm exhausted." My mom sighed softly and closed my bedroom door. 13. I peeked out from under the blanket, staring at the ceiling in a daze. Cody's scent still lingered on the covers. I hugged the blanket close to my chest. High school had been bleak and lonely. Cody was the only light. To cover my mom's medical bills and my sister's tuition, I worked multiple jobs every day after school. One afternoon, while mopping the basketball court, I ran into Cody playing with his friends. He frowned and called out, "Hey, Archie, go get us some water." I set down the mop and brought back a crate of water. He tipped me 10,000 yuan. After that, Cody's demands took over all my time. He was a wealthy young man, ice-cold water to drink, fresh ingredients for every meal, and nothing pre-made. I cooked for him in his rented apartment, ran errands, and earned a good daily sum. Life was exhausting, but late at night, I secretly savored the little sweetness in Cody's kindness. I knew it was just wishful thinking on my part. I closed my eyes, trying to empty my mind, drifting into sleep. Yet, warmth spread over my body. When my sister woke me up, I was still groggy. She said, "That luxury car is still downstairs. Your boss didn't leave." I frowned. He'd stayed in the car all night. I got out of bed, my neck stiff and sore, my head a little dizzy. "Big brother, why's your face so red?" "Probably just from sleeping too long," I said, patting my face. "I'll go check." I bundled up in a thick coat and stepped outside, standing beside Cody's car. Snow had already covered the roof. I tapped on the window. Cody got out, frowning, then took off his coat and draped it over my shoulders. "Why are you out here, wearing such thin clothes?" My chest warmed. I asked, "Why didn't you leave?" He paused, then growled, "I want to see which alpha got you pregnant and didn't take responsibility, leaving you alone here during New Year's." A warm current spread through my body. The glands at the back of my neck tingled and burned. Cody, he really cared about me. "You." Dizziness swept over me. "Archie." The last thing I remembered was Cody's anxious face. 14. I woke to the sound of my doctor scolding someone. "Are you his alpha? Don't you know a pregnant omega needs pheromone care? You've been absent. What's more important, work, or your spouse and child?" I quickly said, "He's not." The doctor thought I was upset and snapped at Cody, "Go and take care of your spouse. He's had a hard pregnancy." After the doctor left, Cody's eyes were red. "Archie, is this how he treated you? Who is it? Is that why you left me?" "It has nothing to do with you, Cody. Go," I said coldly. Cody fell silent, a powder keg ready to explode. His fur-scented pheromones leaked into the room. Lacking alpha pheromones during pregnancy had made me suffer. My body longed desperately for his scent, but I knew indulgence was over. "Cody, we're done. Go out, I said. He left, and I exhaled in relief, unaware my mom had stopped him outside. Auntie knows you're a good kid, my mom said, but even if you've argued with Archie, you can't just leave him alone. You don't know how hard it's been for him, pregnant like this. Cody's pupils trembled. He pushed open my hospital door again and sat by my bed. Archie, if your alpha won't care for you, I can be your child's father. You like me? I asked. Cody didn't answer. My heart skipped a beat. I forced a small smile and said, Cody, I'm not a beta. I'm an omega. Your least favorite kind of omega. 15. Cody groaned. I didn't expect him to come again. After the new year, the divorce case finally went through. My mom firmly separated from that man. Everything was moving in the right direction. Late at night, as I packed my hospital bag for delivery, I heard movement at the balcony window. Someone had climbed in. I gripped the glass on the nightstand, but when I saw his face, I relaxed. Cody, eyes red, approached. I frowned. Why are you here? You're carrying my child, Archie. Don't I even get the right to know? My chest sank, and I instinctively tried to run. He caught the back of my neck. Where do you think you're going with that belly? The warm pad of his hand pressed against my glands, and my legs went weak instantly. The room filled with the scent of a high-level alpha, soothing pheromones. Archie, don't be afraid. I'm not here to scold you. I'm here to be the father of your child, he said. Before I could respond, a bright spotlight illuminated the balcony. Bang! A large rock smashed against the window. Archie, get down. Cody pulled me behind him. If you don't get down, I'll hurt your mom. I pushed him aside, rushing onto the balcony, and saw my father, flanked by a group of debt collectors, holding my mom. Drake, don't! I shouted. I tried to run down, but Cody grabbed my wrist. I'll handle this. You stay here. No, I have to go. Archie, don't be afraid. I'm a high-level alpha. They're no match for me, Cody said. Then he leapt from the balcony. I ran up to the balcony. The streetlights were dim. I couldn't see clearly. My mom broke free from the group. The debt collectors scattered. Cody's cold pine pheromones suppressed them. My father lay moaning on the ground. I exhaled, but my legs felt warm, and I felt water trickle down. My sister came running, wide-eyed. Big brother, your water broke. Go to the hospital. She grabbed my hospital bag and helped me downstairs. Mom was filthy, but when she saw my wet pants, she stayed calm. Archie, don't worry. It's okay. We'll get to the hospital immediately. I got in the car. Cody's eyes were wide, and he helped me to the back seat, continuously releasing soothing alpha pheromones the whole way. 16. I was rushed straight into the delivery room. Being in preterm labor and frightened, Cody was held back inside, releasing his alpha calming pheromones. This child was born with difficulty. I was sweating cold sweat from the pain, and it was only thanks to Cody's pheromones that I didn't collapse. When I finally heard the baby's loud cries, tears streamed down my face. Cody handed the child to me and then collapsed himself. His dark coat touched the white tile floor, smearing blood across it. I stared at him in shock. Someone's fainted. A group of nurses surrounded him. The patient's been stabbed in the back. Prepare for emergency surgery. The baby cried in my arms. I looked at Cody lying on the floor. Had he lost his mind? He'd been stabbed and was still releasing so much pheromone. Did he not care if he survived? I waited outside his surgery room. The baby, born a few days early, was healthy and taken by my sister for a checkup. Mom pushed my wheelchair and sighed behind me. Archie, I don't know what happened between you two, but I see Cody is a good man. We should give him a chance, don't you think? I stared at the words on the surgery monitor and nodded. If he survived, I'd give him a chance. And give myself a chance too. 17. Cody didn't die. He told me why he'd hated omegas. He was born to a low-quality alpha. His father deceived that alpha, and his father's possessiveness and obsession were extreme. Because his alpha mother once said something to another omega, he destroyed that alpha's glands. But in the end, the one who actually crossed the line was Cody, with another omega, his perfect match. His mother couldn't handle it and chose to end her life. So Cody developed a physiological aversion to omegas. He hated losing control to pheromones. He held my hand. I liked you, even when you were a beta. But I never truly understood my own heart. You're an omega because of me. Let me take responsibility. Let me care for you for life. Cody was arrogant, sharp-tongued, and childish. But he was also my light. And I embraced that light without hesitation. Cody's extra chapter. Gavin warned me that if I didn't give Archie a proper place in my life, he would leave. I didn't believe it. Archie had followed me for so many years. He wouldn't leave me. But I hadn't expected him to be bought off by my stepmother with 5 million yuan. By the time I realized, he was gone, every contact blocked. I drank angrily at the bar. Gavin mocked me, calling me a super foolish dog. Thinking of how obedient Archie had been in the past, how dare he? I couldn't let it go. I heard he was searching for lawyers to handle a divorce case, so I contacted that classmate and went to see him. I wanted him to explain himself. I would forgive him, let him stay as my secretary, maintain our prior arrangement. But he said we were just in a transaction. 10 years of feelings, what did that mean? I slammed the door in anger, angry that Archie had no heart. I buried myself in work to numb the pain. Yet, day after day, I thought of Archie more. I missed everything about him, how he brewed tea, cooked, made the bed, even the way he prepared a presentation. Gavin said I liked him. I admitted it. But why hadn't Archie come back? Why hadn't he regretted leaving? Did he really not want me anymore? I was furious, but I never lowered my head. I endured, using suppressants to get through each sensitive period. Yet, he haunted my dreams. During New Year's, the villa was empty except for me. I thought of Archie again. If he were here, he'd make a huge feast. Since high school, he had always been the first to send a New Year's greeting. Driven by impulse, I bought a car full of gifts and drove hundreds of kilometers to Archie's hometown on New Year's Eve. The moment I saw him, I wanted to hold him to my very flesh and bones. But he didn't seem to welcome me. I was upset. Late at night, I climbed onto his bed. As I wrapped my arms around his waist, I realized, he was pregnant. My ears rang. He was carrying another alpha's child. I was furious. Which alpha dared to bully Archie like this? I sat in the car, pounding the steering wheel, gasping in distress. I wanted to punish the alpha who had taken Archie's heart. I spent the night stewing in jealousy, furious at the irresponsible alpha who had treated him so poorly. Archie had even fainted. The attending doctor scolded me. I would have preferred to truly be the father. Any scolding was fine. But Archie said I wasn't. I left the place dejected. Archie's mother had even assumed I was the child's father. Clearly, that alpha was not only irresponsible, he hadn't even shown his face. Fine, then I would be the father. But Archie told me he was an Omega. I felt nauseated, yet I couldn't control myself. I had no idea when he had been deceiving me. My emotions were in turmoil. I returned home in a daze, only to run into Gavin. He said, "Cody, are you stupid? Don't you know you can investigate? As far as I know, a high-level alpha can turn a beta into an Omega." I found the hospital where Archie had been treated. He had already become pregnant while staying with me, undergoing a second shift into Omega. And there was that lily of the valley scent. I had never noticed. No wonder he left. I only enjoyed having him by my side, never caring about his feelings. I had been the alpha who bullied Archie. I felt overwhelming guilt. I couldn't imagine how Archie, a pregnant Omega without an alpha's calming pheromones, had endured so much. He must have been so helpless and in pain. I wanted to fly to him immediately. And I did. I rushed to his house, climbed through his window. This time, I was going to hold my Omega. I was going to take care of him.